Sure, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dear Confi, we are live. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Tamina. Hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Thank you. Warm greetings, everyone present, and welcome to today's Women Ascension Peace and Justice series. I warmly greet all participants, guests, and our respected speaker today. Thank you for joining in and taking part in this important discussion. My name is Ms. Kanvi, a postgraduated in microbiology honors from Punjab Agriculture University, Ludhiana, Punjab, India. I'm also serving as an active member, country representative for India, and core team member for Women Ascension. And it is my honor to serve as a moderator tonight. For those who are new to Women Ascension, I would like to describe about it in brief. Women Ascension is an international organization dedicated to empowering women and girls through education, leadership, development, and global engagement. The organization creates space for meaningful dialogue, learning, and collaboration, allowing women from around the world to share experiences, build confidence, and strengthen their voices. The Peace and Justice Department of Women Ascension is devoted to fostering dignity, fairness, and inclusion across communities, guided by universal human rights and aligned with sustainable development goals. Our mission is to encourage dialogue, education, and advocacy that address inequality and strengthen just institutes. With humility, we recognize that peace is sustained not only through the absence of conflict, but through the presence of justice. By supporting women, youth, and vulnerable groups, we strive to build partnerships that uphold compassion, accountability, and shared responsibility. This department stands as a collaborative space where learning, listening, and collective action come together to advance more equitable and peaceful world. Today's session focuses on human right and social justice fundamentals, a core theme in building fair, equitable, and inclusive society. Today's session invites us into a thoughtful exploration of the principles that uphold dignity, fairness, and inclusion in our societies. Human rights are not privilege; they are the universal entitlement that affirm our shared humanity. Social justice is the ongoing commitment to ensure these rights are realized equitable, especially for those most vulnerable to exclusion and harm. Today, we will reflect on key global frameworks, community level practices, and the role of education, advocacy, and civic engagement in addressing injustice. We will consider how individuals and organizations, regardless of scale, can contribute meaningfully to building societies rooted in compassion, accountability, and respect. This conversation is not only timely, it is timeless, and it begins with humility, recognizing that learning, listening, and collective action are essential to progress. We thank each of you for being the part of this journey, and we look forward to the insights and commitments that this will emerge from today's dialogue. Now, it is my honor to introduce our speaker and mentor for today, Miss Anna. Miss Anna is an educator, volunteer, and advocate for displaced communities. Originally from Ukraine and now living in Greece, she has spent over 3 years supporting Ukrainian women and children, war refugees, helping them adapt to new realities. She teaches Greek to refugees, writes for Ukrainian Education Hub, and guides families through school enrollment, state institutes, and cultural integration. Her work empowers displaced families by strengthening their sense of safety, belonging, and resilience in a foreign country. As a mother, she is committed to helping families rebuild their lives with dignity and hope. Her voice is influential with Ukrainian communities, especially in discussion about adaptation, safety, and empowerment. With great respect, I would like to give the floor to our honored speaker and mentor, Miss Anna. Miss Anna, the stage is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Canvi, and thank you everyone who gave me the opportunity to be today in front of all of you. Thank you everyone who joined this session and those who will see it in recording. And today's topic is really very, very important because me living in Greece and previously living in Ukraine, I would say that I'm a part of a Western world and we enjoy human rights in full and we often take it for granted and we don't even think about them. But there are huge areas in the world and a lot of countries where these rights are not taken for granted, they are not respected, and especially women, children, and vulnerable categories really need to fight for them. And it's really very important topic today. So let us see what is human rights. They are our basic freedoms and protections that every person should have just because they are human. We are almost 8 billion people and we need to respect each other and to have the freedoms to feel like humans. And it's very important for everyone, to know about the human rights and to realize what they can do with these human rights. So, what actually is the right? A lot of people say it like, general meaning human rights, but what is the right? And the right is the something that a person is entitled to have or to do simply because he is alive, he is a human, or she is alive and she is a human. So we have a lot of rights, and main rights which everyone believes they should have. It's right for freedom, for safety, for being treated with dignity, for speaking freely, for being safe, for education, for food, for good health care. And we know that this right is not privilege. It's entitled to us automatically. You are born as a human and you directly have the right. And human rights, as you know, it's something that we have independently of gender, age, religion, nationality, social status, and a lot of other things. It doesn't matter what country you are from and what is your status. You always have human rights, and they are universal. We suppose that they cannot be taken away, but it's not always the case. They protect our dignity and equality, and they allow people to live freely and safely. We know that there are many organizations which are dealing with this and fighting and protecting, and in order to be, let's say, more organized, humanity had decided to gather them, let's say, in main human rights set. And we know that there is, let's say, 30 basic human rights which are available to everyone and everywhere. This slide, I believe you can find also in the internet in different resources. And here there are gathered main human rights, which everyone in every country, in every status should know about. So today we will discuss about difficulties in countries where the human rights are not respected and how to improve life, how to fight for them, or maybe not fight, but be aware of them and find the way, to apply or to improve the situation in accordance to human rights. So these human rights need to be known by everyone in every country. We need to talk about them in schools in different ways so people are aware, because when you don't know what are your rights, you cannot expect others, to uh, work and to act in accordance to them. And when you don't know what you are allowed or not allowed, you don't even think about, demanding. So it's very important that all people, especially starting from a young age and women, know their basic rights, because this helps us to know and to demand what we have to have in our life, and to see how we can get to the results which we want, and how we can get the education, a proper health care, better food, protection, and many, many other very important things. So basic human rights are really important, and we need to know what they are. So why these human rights matter generally? Why people sit and write down this list of human rights? And we know that human rights actually ensure that we are not harmed, we are not abused, and we are not oppressed. That everyone can have equal opportunities and equal possibilities. That our governments treat citizens fairly. That society respects human dignity. And we know that all this is very often not respected, not met, and many people are struggling because all these human rights are not, in place. So we need to have these rights and to work on them because we would like to live our life with respect, have a freedom of voice, have freedoms in generally, and live in a justice world. If you see on this little list, I believe you know many people from this list. These are the people who are, in our mind, associated with fight for the human rights. We know people like Nelson Mandela, like Martin Luther King, like Mahatma Gandhi, people from India, you definitely know him. Europeans know about Mr. Schindler, who was protecting Jewish people during the Second World War, and many, many other people. There are a lot of ladies, and I will talk about them later, who were working on human rights for women, for children. These people were not living easy life, many of them, because they were really fighting at their time, were in danger, some were imprisoned, some afterwards were prized with Nobel Peace Prize. And they remember that people have the rights, and they did everything they could to inspire people to do actionable steps, to get closer to the equal rights, to protection of vulnerable categories, and help the others, the people who were not thinking about human rights, to understand, the importance of having the right to be free, having the right to be equal to others, like, racism, which was huge and it was really recent in our history. So we need to remember about it because the history makes circles and it comes back again. And now, for example, with war in Ukraine, a little example, the Russia who started the war, they say that Ukrainians are Nazi, like like Germans in in World War Second. So we need to talk about this, and people need to understand that this is lie and this is not good what they are talking now. There are a lot of people from different countries, due to globalizations, coming from Asia to Europe, from America, from Mexico to America, and so on. And there are a lot of people of different nationalities moving around. And when you get to a new society and you are different, this racism is still here around and still alive, and still people think about you like you are different. You are not equal to me, you are not the same. So, talks about equity and about human rights of everyone everywhere is really live and very important even nowadays because if we forget about it, then it's very easy, to sleep down and the inequity will be flourishing around. So these talks are important for everyone, for women, for children, for everyone in every country. Especially, of course, it's important talk for countries where human rights are not respected, and we are talking about it in a bit. So let's start with what is equity and why it's important, because equity in our minds, it's like we all have the same chance. Yes, but equity is not the same with equality, because equity, okay, you have the right to have, for example, great education, and I have the right. But me living in Greece, uh, it's very easy to get this proper education. And someone else who is living in Afghanistan, in Bangladesh, in some other countries, where the situation is not the same, it may be very different story. And maybe for some living in distant villages, in poor areas, it could be even impossible. So in these cases, we need to see how we go through the barriers and make this situation really equal for everyone who wants to go, for example, for a good education. And here I have some examples which we can review and see how it should be in case, we talk about this. So we say that human rights are universal, and equity means making sure everyone has what they need to enjoy their rights freely. But equality gives everyone the same opportunity. Equity recognizes that not everyone starts at the same place. So we need to support in order to make these opportunities the same. For example, if the girls face cultural barriers at school, equity may mean scholarship, safe transportation, or community support. I would say new friends who would support you emotionally, teachers who are really feeling for you and willing to support you, and a lot of things. And if rural women cannot access hospital, for example, equity may mean mobile clinics, health outreach programs, health education, maybe medical workers coming to this village and helping people there. So there are a lot of ways to help people. And it's always community and government work to be sure that we treat everyone uh, with equity and that everyone may get the help and support which they need. So here are some examples. And we know that, in many countries, girls are not the same with boys. Women are not the same with men. They have maybe nominally the same rights, but practically they are very different. In many countries, people are restricted from healthcare, from going to school, from some activities which boys would do. They are not accepted to works, and there are a lot of problems. So let's say that we review here some examples where we talk about ladies and girls. So education for girls. In many communities, boys are encouraged to study while girls stay at home. And this is a big problem because uneducated girl means uneducated young generation. So here we have both the rights, both have rights for education. And what we need to do here, we need to have safe schools where both can go, and boys and girls. We need to have community awareness that girls are humans as well, and we need to educate them because they will educate younger generations, their kids, and it's important that a woman has a proper education. Financial support. If the family cannot allow girl to go to school because there are no money, the state need to support these programs so the girls can go to school as well. Policies that will protect girls' education. We know that in many countries, there are a lot of restrictions for girls. So the organizations who are dealing with rights of women and girls need to protect them by law. So there will be policies which protect girls and allow them to go to schools. The healthcare situation. A poor village and a wealthy city have the same right for healthcare, but definitely the citizens cannot have the same healthcare when they are living in some distant village. So what government need to do? They need to build more clinics closer to remote areas. They need to have a transportation to that areas, to the clinics, because people need to get there somehow. They need to allow women to access healthcare without restrictions, because in some situations, women cannot receive help when they need it. And the other thing is reducing cost and providing free services, because in many countries, even in Europe, here in Greece where I live, we have free healthcare, and we need to do, some, for example, to examine your blood test or some other tests. And you have the right to get this test free because you have insurance. But if you need to make a second one in a closed time period, you are not allowed. So you either pay yourself or you wait for the period of time when it will be allowed, let's say in 2 months. So even in highly developed, wealthy countries, we still have here the situation with costs and reduction of cost and opportunities. And sometimes poor people, even in Europe, cannot, get the proper health treatment. So this is an issue for everyone. Another one is voice and participation from women. Women typically have legal rights. So they can vote, they can be leaders in their communities, they can be elected in high positions, but in many countries it's not the case. So we need to protect their right and their free voice. So women need to be safe to speak publicly about different topics and different issues and women problems. They need to be included in community meetings, which is in many cases not the case. They have leadership training and opportunities. Yes, because if they are not educated, they cannot provide, all important things and to talk loudly about issues. So leadership training and opportunities to speak is really big ones. Changing norms that silence women. This is huge in many, many countries. And this is something that organizations need to talk to governments about. So women have the voice, they can talk and they can be taken in account because otherwise they're like they don't exist. So we know that people were fighting for human rights in different countries. And still, there are a lot of countries where we need to continue fighting for human rights and for freedoms that are limited in these countries. And we know that in such countries, and it's very important, it's very often not safe to do it. And in these cases, people who are thinking about doing something about human rights need to do it in a safe way, have strategy, and this will be effective in a certain percentage. We cannot expect that, when someone starts talking, everything will change. But this person who will start talking, either it's men or women, doesn't matter, it will have the seeds in heads of other people. It will plant the seeds with thoughts that, I can do this. This is the way to go. We need to do this. We need to organize. We need to unite. And this will be the first step to changing the situation. It will be the first step for the changes that will come in future. And if people work on this, the changes will definitely come. So first thing, it's education and awareness. When you don't know, you don't know what you don't know, so you will not act on it. Education is very important, and people in every country need to be more educated, especially girls and women in areas where there is a restriction for this. So what we need to do and to try to find the ways to do it. So we need to train girls and women on their rights. So definitely we need to talk to them and say, there is a right for this, this, and this, and you are allowed to do this, this, and this. If their country restricts some rights, then they need at least to know and to see what of these rights could be um, taken in consideration and how they can use them. Then definitely we need to have teaching about laws and protection. For example, if your husband beats you, you can go to police. If somebody, talks to you badly, you can go to police or to whatever important people in community and discuss with them, so you can be protected in these ways. Community seminars wherever it's possible about the rights of people, about the rights of community and how they can, support each other. Uh, Quiet household level conversations. What is this? We can discuss it, at home. When it's not safe, we need to understand, how we can talk, between us. So we can speak at home, we can speak in little groups, we can speak with our friends and discuss situations which are important for us and see, what can be done about it. Sharing information privately or in small groups. We can unite, as we say that we unite with our hobbies, we can unite between us, talking about our rights and how we can protect them or get, something in accordance to our rights, like the right to go to school. So we organize and say, I cannot go to school myself because it's far, but if I go with you, you and you, we are three, so we are safer. So we can go together and find many solutions to many little problems when we discuss it in small groups which can help each other. Then when what we definitely need to understand, when we understand our rights, we actually cannot be silent. And this is universal. When you know that uh, you have the right to go to school, you will find every kind of possibility and opportunities to go to school. When you know that you have the right to go to police because something bad happened at your home, you will go to police. You will call. You will find a friend who will call. You will do something about it. When you don't know about your rights, you do not act on them. But when you know your rights, you definitely find the way so nobody can silence you anymore. What else we can do? We can strengthening our local networks. So what happened, I know in many countries it's the case when the ladies get together and do some work together, like cooking together, making some things together, knitting, whatever. So when you get women group, you can discuss any kind of things together. For children and young people, you can do youth clubs and discuss there the situations and opportunities and the rights. Teacher networks in many countries, teachers, educators are connected with networks. So this could be one subject which could be discussed between them, and maybe they can make a lesson in school if it's not, in school, and discuss with the children some cases or the rights about opportunities and what they do in and this situation. So they teach the lesson practically. They don't like learn by heart what are the rights. Children need to understand what practically means every right and what they can have using this right. So the teachers can make some lessons and discuss about this. Legal support group, it's not always easy in each country, but definitely there are some advocates who are helping people to protect themselves. So if there are organizations that can do it, it would be very helpful. In this case, they need to advertise their activity in communities so people know about them and can contact them for support if needed. Community activities could be organized by communities if they want, with topics discussion about human rights. Uh, Community united are harder to ignore. This is really important. When community really wants to do something for themselves, for their children, for people who are living in communities, and they start organized all together, talk to higher level state organizations. It's not one person, it's not two people, it's a whole village, city, whatever community it is. And in this case, it really cannot be ignored. And if some other communities hear about your experience, they can unite, and then you are a lot of people and you can influence the decisions. You can change a lot of things in the world. So it's very important when communities really want to support each other, and in this case, you can gain a lot of things. Another thing, using legal pathways. It's important to know that there is protection from the law, from the court. There are a lot of organizations who are dealing with human rights. Human Rights Commission, children protection units, different organizations who help women. There are helplines, there are help organizations where they support women. For example, in Greece, we have an organization who helps women who have domestic violence. So practically women who have domestic violence can leave their family without divorce from their husband. They can take their children and come to this organization. This organization provides shelter, they provide feeding, they provide lawyers to look through the situation, to sort it out, to take legal actions. They often provide kind of job for ladies so they can work. They provide schooling for children. So there are organizations who can support women with children or women without children in case they need the help. Uh, Non-profits, a lot of organizations in different countries who are dealing with the rights of people, and you can contact them and they can support, advise, provide legal support. Different actions can be taken, which are these organizations are specializing in human rights for women. So it's very important. Oh, I see I am out of time. So let's go next. Documents. We are really need to remember about this. Documenting your situation is important. If something happened, you write down the accident, you take pictures, you keep the records. If after some time you need to go to court, it will be really big evidence. So it's important to document everything what happens with you and keep it. Digital and online advocacy, only if it's safe in your country. You can share information anonymously if it's allowed in your country and possible, or through social media in some situations, so, to create awareness. In some countries, you can make petitions or connect with global networks. It's not always easy and not everywhere, but you can consider it the digital world is like a second world to our reality. So it's huge. It's very powerful, and you can get a lot of awareness using the digital world. Community dialogue. We need to talk, between us. We need to speak to elders. In some countries, they are really respected in small communities, so they are the voices of these people will be heard by others. The teachers with religion leaders. The other thing, it's theaters, poetry, stories, which we speak to our children, which we tell to our children, and they understand from these stories. They understand what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. And in this way, they get educated as well, and they get from very little age understanding of what they can do. They can dream, they can imagine. It's very important when you talk about this with small children. Another thing is helping one person at a time, and it's very important. We think usually that in order to change something, we need to do something huge, big organization, a lot of people, a lot of activities, many things together. But in reality, everything starts with one person who decides to do something, one person who wants to support the other one. You support your neighbor, you support a grandma who lives nearby, you help a child to learn something, you talk to your sister and brother who are younger about the rights. They learn about it and they create something in their mind which will help them in future. And practically, we need to do one step at a time. We need to act every day a little bit. And this step by step action will bring huge results because day by day your influence will grow. The other people will talk to others, and it will go like a network, and everyone will become more aware. Some people maybe they will start acting. Some people may have some connections and start helping the situation. So it's very, very important to start acting, each person a little bit. After some time, maybe you will become two, three, 10 people, and then it could be even a movement. What we do, how we help, we talk, we educate, we support people who are next to us, we mentor others, we support people who are in need, and need could be different. It could be abuse survival, could be like an old person who needs some help, could be a child who needs somebody to stay with her for 2 hours. Help could be very different, and it's always important to remember, uh, to help with humanity in mind. So, what women need, because we are here, Women Ascension, so we need to remember that what women need and what girls need. So we need knowledge to understand, our rights, to know them, to understand the laws and how we can use them to protect us. We need confidence, to be confident that if we start this, we will achieve. Uh, in this case, when we have confidence, we will believe that our voice matters. It's not like, oh, what can I do? Yeah, you can do everything. You are a human. You were born to do something. So, confidence that you will achieve it definitely need to be present. Support networks. It's difficult to be alone, and nobody should be alone in this situation, fighting for human rights. And if you can create or join the network, it will definitely help in your way. But if you start as the first one, then create a network and it will support you. Then we are talking about access to information and legal resources. It's not always easy in every country, but there is always a way. So if you don't have access, seek how you can get to this access. Safe spaces to speak and organize. Not always easy. What could be done? Your friend's house, where you discuss a little bit, a little community meeting, a little women of group where you discuss, your thoughts, your ideas. So this would be a space where you feel safe and you can organize a little bit, for example, you meet and you say, tomorrow we discuss this, how we can go to school or what we can do about healthcare. For example, we don't have a doctor, but nearby village has. Maybe we can invite this doctor once a week to meet here with our people, or maybe once a month. So you can come with ideas and discuss it. So it will be, related to your right to a health care. It's just in a different way discussed and presented to other people human right. Role models and community examples. Role models, it's a lot of people who were fighting, and ladies especially. There were a number of bright ladies who were fighting for our rights. Community examples, a lot of examples worldwide where people started doing something and achieved great results. So here I will share the presentation after we complete this meeting. I have some ladies, bright ladies from different countries who were fighting for human rights, who were Nobel Prize winners, who achieved amazing results, and they could be great role models for everyone who is dealing with human rights and would like to remember, that your voice matters. And if you start acting, you definitely will bring more and more to this world, and you can do a lot in direction of protecting and fighting for human rights. So human rights give us dignity. Equity makes those rights real. Even in a difficult environment, women and girls have the power to learn, to unite, to speak, to organize, and to change their worlds, step by step, sister by sister. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Anna, for like explaining a very crucial topic. I was taken aback. Like it is very essential for anybody to know about the right. That was a like bulb on moment for me. Obviously, if you don't know about things, obviously you will not question it, or you will not know that what is to be done and from where you can get help. So I'm really grateful for that thing. So there was a question. The participants can drop their questions or they can raise their hands if they want to ask it in the audio. There was a question from a candidate. She's asking, uh, she's first of all telling you thank you for the insightful presentation, Miss Anna. And she's asking,
Welcome.
how can someone bypass the challenges of exercising human right in a hegemonic society?
Can you explain me a little bit about this type of society?
Yes, Miss Nagela, can you please unmute yourself and elaborate your question?
What are the restrictions, let's say? What are the challenges, big challenges in this society?
I guess she's having some difficulty in like in the audio. Ma'am,
Mhm.
if in generic you can say from your perspective, that would
Okay.
address her question. Yes,
Can you please repeat then the question so we are getting as close as possible?
yes, ma'am, for sure. So she's asking, how can someone bypass the challenges of exercising human right in a hegen- hegemonic society? Monic.
All right. So let's put it in a different way. The society where men play the main role and women almost don't have any rights. Well, practically, it's not easy situation. That's why I said that human rights.
Hello,
Yes, yes.
hello.
Uh,
Yes, this is
yes,
Sri.
yes, Miss, you're audible. You can address your question for a better answer.
Beatrice?
Miss Nagella, you can rejoin once, and then I guess your mic would work. Or if you have some elaborative answer, and if you cannot speak, you can write in the text box also. Till that, ma'am will answer the same question in a generic way. Ma'am, you can proceed till she
All right.
rejoins.
So let's say that this is society where you are not allowed to go to school, you are not allowed to go outside alone, you are not allowed a lot of things. So if you have access to internet, you can use this access to internet and get educated as much as possible using this. If you are not allowed to connect to internet, but there are, for example, books in your home, then start reading, to get your education level as high as possible. If you are allowed to talk to other women in your family circle, for example, discuss with them any topic which is interesting to you in regards to human rights and what you can do. Maybe someone else can connect to the organizations who have a relation, to this topic. Generally, in such societies where women do not have rights, let's say, it's very difficult, honestly, very difficult to fight for them because you are not allowed anything to do. But in such situation, you can contact international organization, or international organization need to, let's say, to influence and to push more the government in this country for human rights. It's not easy because many organizations, international one, they're well known, recognized, but let's say not much of help. I cannot say useless, but they cannot influence a lot. But if you have a lot of voices talking about your country and a lot of voices demanding stuff from your country, at some point it brings the results because the governments are interconnecting with other governments, and they definitely at some point are influenced, and they have to do something for different options. Uh, in some cases, if you live in small town in a distant village, practically you cannot do anything, unfortunately. But it's my point of view. Maybe it's not, right. But as I see it, it's not always possible, to examine human rights, to have the human rights, in full. But in this case, if you, for example, don't have access to education, try to have good relationship within your family, so you are not forced to do stuff you don't like, you are not beaten, they talk to you nicely, so try to live the best quality of life you can do under conditions you are. In case something changes in your life or in life of the people who are around you, for example, you can travel to a different place, to a big city, to other country, maybe under some circumstances. Then, talk about situation in your country. Get the situation as much as possible known worldwide, raise your voice and talk about this, so more people could influence this country. Because if, for example, you have some, how we call it, government, of men who are not interested in keeping women, at high level, only international influence can help, or revolution from inside, but it's not the case. So here you try to get best quality of life you can in conditions you live. Maybe it's not a good answer, but this is the thing I believe is most possible, under conditions where everything is very suppressed.
Yes,
I
ma'am,
don't
you
see.
answered it really well. So there's another candidate who is asking, Miss Samaira, uh, in a society in a society that some women do not fight, some of them are tired of fighting, and all of women are depressed. How can we encourage them? I guess
Oh,
she's
are
asking.
depressed
She
emotionally, I believe. Yeah, we mean that they are depressed emotionally. Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
fighting is a different, everyone has a different meaning to the word fighting. Like if you do actions like you are fighting in words, or you are trying to do some, you know, active actions which are um, constantly refused by other, or ignored by others, of course you feel depressed and you think like everything I do is useless. But it's not always the case, because whatever we do is not useless, and you get more and more and more cases up to moment when the change starts. When you don't have a lot of cases, nothing changes. Everybody believes that it's fine, no need for any change. So you can change your perspective at this, and your strategy how you do it. For example, you talk to your husband, you don't get a result, then talk to your friend, maybe she can convince her husband to do something. Let's say if we talk about household and respecting the situation in the house, or for example you want to go somewhere and your husband doesn't allow you, but you can find a friend, a relative who would arrange this for you. And these little steps, will help you to change the situation, to feel better, and bring you motivation and power to do stuff. If people don't understand you, try to discuss it. The right of free speech is you need to talk and to express your opinion, your thoughts, so people can understand your position, and maybe you can find a solution. Because human rights, as we said, it's a big list of different freedoms and opportunities which we have, and how we use them, it's always up to us. And there are always a lot of different ways to use them. For example, freedom of speech, let's say. I live in a free world in Greece. I can go outside and say whatever I want. Any words, any way, any opinion, I can express it freely. Uh, if I go outside and speak in swear words, who will hear me? Nobody. They will think that I'm a stupid woman and I'm not good. But if I use this freedom to express myself in a different way, coming to different people, for example, I go to school and say, you see, I am this and this, and I would like to organize a meeting with children in the school and to talk about human rights. They will definitely tell me, yes, of course, let's organize and let's come. I want to achieve something for kids who come from Ukraine, and I cannot find the way in a local community. I go to Ministry of Education and I say, look, I am here for this person with this problem and we need this. I have, freedom of speech. I can go to ministry and nobody will tell me why you came here because I have this freedom. I can come, I can discuss, I can find a solution, and I will find a solution. And this is a different way to express the same right because I can talk freely, do it in any way with anyone, and it's up to me how I will use this. And this applies to everything we have around. If something you do doesn't help, find a different way. Look from a different angle. Think about different option to address the thing, and we are like limitless. We just need to think in a different way. And many times when you discuss it with somebody else, they see it from a different perspective, and they can come with different ideas, which will help to move, ahead with whatever problem or issue you have. So this, I would say, learn to look at things from a different perspective. So this will also bring you motivation, as you say you are depressed, to continue looking for the options. And if you unite with others, it will bring a lot of ideas. And never stop, never, never, ever. In Ukraine, when they invaded Ukraine, everybody, all the world were saying you will stand for 2 weeks. You don't have army, you don't have armors, you don't have anything. And now it's almost 4 years and we are fighting and it looks like we will win. A second army in the world. So you just believe in yourself and you never stop. This is what I can say. I can see here raised hand. Let me see
Yes,
if I
ma'am.
can see.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering it so beautifully. I do agree with you. Yes, Miss Nirgam, if you still have question, you can unmute yourself and ask since you have raised your hand.
Yeah.
I guess she has some connectivity issue. So,
Yeah.
ma'am, till the
Hello.
I would
Oh, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
yes, dear,
Hello.
you are audible. You can address your question.
Greetings to you. I am
Greetings.
Lillian from Cameroon. I wish to thank the facilitator for the presentation. Um, my question is this. I know I have my rights, but in some countries, these rights are not granted. Like, for instance, in my country, it is very challenging for some persons, especially women, to express their rights when it comes to aspects like gender-based violence, because once you are violated, you go to the officials and report. What they do is they start blaming you. They start asking you questions like, what were you doing there? Or what were you wearing, and all the like. And when these questions are being asked, I think it's demoralized the person,
The one who came
the
with the question.
yeah,
Yeah.
the survivor. So the survivor, like, it the survivor becomes emotionally disturbed more, and to an extent the problem is not handled. So in countries like this or in situations like this, what do we do? Somebody is raped, the person goes to report to officials. Instead of the officials to bring the victim to justice, they turn and start blaming the lady who is a survivor. Thank you.
Well, this is an often situation, and not even, in your country, but in some other countries, really much with much higher level of wealth, and you are coming to police, and they say you are the one who is the reason why it happened. So, what we do here in such situation, because usually it's either the same men who are doing this ugly actions, or it's typical practice, in the area. So this is a situation when you document this and get together with other victims and look for organization in your country who can help you, like, on a legal level. So practically you go report, and if your report is ignored, let's say, or not addressed as it should be addressed, then it would be a solution. If you know about other victims, you gather together and you go to a higher level, because the higher level court cannot ignore these situations. So this is the part which I said about documents. You document the case. If there are other people, they document their cases as well, and you go together as one question, about raping in the area, for example, about ignoring your uh, how we call it, your claims. One question about common problem in the area with your police station. When you get to higher courts, they cannot ignore it, especially if it's a lot of people together coming with one and the same story. In this case, they will definitely prosecute this situation, and you will get at least, emotional satisfaction that the people who are doing this to one, whoever lady, will be punished, and the police station, if not punished, will have, the, how we call it in English, will have to be a more typical with such cases, and will need to act on such cases. I know it's not easy, and it's really very unpleasant, but only in such way, when we get to the higher court levels, we can get the system moving, I would say, because otherwise they are ignoring, they consider women like second sort people or even third sort people. They don't consider them as humans as well. So they say, like, we are men and you are nobody. Don't speak, you don't have rights, you no one. But if there are a lot of ladies who are coming together, they cannot ignore it. So you are no one becomes, you are somebody you need to count on. So the only thing in such situation is going together to higher level.
Okay, thank you very much for the reply.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Nigam, for asking your question. Yes, Ms. Gift, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, thank you for such an insightful session. But I've got a question, especially concerning human rights in relation to cultural aspects and societal attitudes and perspectives that they have toward women. Because you may find that some of the societies, they embrace their cultural norms, which actually do not guarantee the freedom of expression. Women are not given chance to their abilities they have in different areas. So actually, in such circumstances, it might appear difficult for women to enjoy their human rights as men do. So my question is now, what should be done in order to ensure that these cultural barriers to gender equity, to women freedom, and especially mostly freedom of expression, what should be done in order to ensure this gender equity, especially to women in such societies?
It depends on the society, definitely, in a big aspect, because there are societies where women are practically not allowed anything. There are society where people do not take women in consideration, but do not, suppress them 100%. So if we are talking about society where people, where women have some rights, but they are really limited and not a lot, then it's a general problem. And here you need to unite around women if they are in high positions in your country, like famous educators, speakers, people who may be in uh, high country positions in government, in education department, any high place where you have women, even in your community, if there is a woman, if there are women to whom the others will listen to, you need to talk to such women to raise again and again the issue that women need more rights. Women need to be elected. Women need to have a chance to be present in events, for example. Let's say that you are living in a small town, right? And you say that when we have community meetings, women also need to be present. When we have a kind of election, maybe we need to unite around one woman who will be elected between the other men, so we have a woman voice. If we have, for example, press, yeah, and you have newspapers, journals, internet resources, and only men write there, and they write in a way about men. If there is any chance to get a woman into this space, gather around this opportunity and do everything to get one woman voice in this. And practically, it's like, the water between the rocks. You go drop by drop and you open the hole. And this is the same situation. You go one by one, you unite around one person who can in any way to support the situation. Maybe men who would see the situation about women's rights and want to support. Go to these people, discuss with them, unite around them, support them so they can bring more awareness, more discussions. Uh, if their words, are important and the people count on them, they will listen to them more, and little by little it will change. It's not easy to change from one day to another one, and we always need to talk, with people who are respected. If there are respected women, great, go with them, support them. If there are respected men who are, talking about option, opportunity, a little bit something for women, go to them and push them to talk more, to do more about this, so they can, help and support. And even if they cannot, help now, it will bring a little bit of awareness to men's men that maybe in some point women can be allowed here. Women could do this job. Women can, do something different or something they don't do now but will be allowed. And that person who will get there, this woman who will get there, will be, helping the others to add, to join, to get more. Even in the Western world, if you see, now women are supposed to be free and to have all the rights and enjoy equal rights with men. But still, if you see, in politics, very few women. In different organizations, not many women. We are not about, like 50-50. It's not even like 30-70. Yes, we have like a lot of teachers, we have a lot of doctors, uh, because this some opportunities where they need a lot of people. They allowed women, and women are trying to do the best. So they are getting to these specialities, and we have a lot of women. But when you go, even in Greece, when you go to a village, uh, they treat women almost equally, but not equally. If you go to some other countries in Europe, it's always, like not 50-50. And we are supposed to be, really high level societies here in Greece, don't take it, like disrespect to other countries, but I'm talking about supposedly equally uh, rated people in Western world, and still it's not equal, and still people are like women are trying to get through, to get more people to politics, to get more ladies to different um, organizations to a high level positions, then they can influence and support other women. We still have a lot of women organizations talking about women rights. We still have huge violence even in this top level society. That's why we have these organizations who support people, ladies with kids, because they are beating women here and even killing women here. So it's something that now society talks about and we can see it, but it's still something that present, and women are with all their rights are not protected. They're not safe like 100%. And when you talk about equality at job opportunities, men are still preferred, and only when you have some options where the wages are really low and they're looking for anyone, and they can choose between men and women, they will maybe choose women. But this fight is non-stop, and discussion about the rights and trying to get the rights for women is non-stop, and I believe it will be for many, many years ahead. Really important topic to discuss, because even now, if you ask everyone what are the rights, they don't know. And what you can do for women, and are women worthy, they will say, yeah, okay, they are worthy. What you can do for women to support them, what do they need to be supported? They are fine, nobody cares. So what we need to do is to see and to care by ourselves, and to see if we want, to push something and to get better rights for women in any society, we need to do step by step by ourselves, each one of us, to see, you discussed today with me the topic. What can be done in your country? What can be done in your home, in your town home, in your society, in your organization if you work somewhere, connected to the human rights? Whom you can connect and contact and see, if they can help, support, advise someone, get whatever information you could use to support your thought, your idea, for getting this human rights level a bit higher in your country. And then when we get this information, act on this information, like write a letter, send an email, contact the person, discuss with someone. You will hear many people will say like, I don't care, it's not for me, like leave me alone. What are you talking about? What women? Like all this stuff, you need to get prepared emotionally that you will get a lot of no and ignore from other people. But it doesn't mean that we stop, like it's always up to you to believe that, okay, one no, it means next opportunity. So I go to next level, to next door, to next person. I will discuss with many people, and I would suggest when it's safe environment, always when it's safe, discuss the ideas which you have with other people. You will be amazed that some people will ignore those which you believe that would be interested, but some other which you will never think about that they are interested in supporting you or thinking about some ideas will help you and support you, and uh, you will see opportunities which you even don't imagine at this point, because when we keep it inside us and we don't do anything, nobody knows that we want to do something. And when we start acting and people see that we are acting, some are afraid of not doing anything. Some are supporting you quietly. Some maybe supporting you actively, and some ignoring. That's okay. You go with those who can support. You look for those who can support, and you do Every time, a little bit, whatever, Write a letter, wait a month, okay? In a month, you get an answer, great. Look what will happen with this answer and go next step. And only this way, like step by step, little by little, the rules are changing, the situation is changing, government will be changing. Anything can change at any time, and sometimes things are going our way when we don't expect them to go. So, to high level, rights of women in your country or in your society, it's always talking to people who can assist, talking to people who can be heard, talking to people and looking for people who would like to, take care of this question and pushing them quietly, nicely, but pushing, reminding, here we have this. Let's do an event. Let's make a speech. Let's participate in whatever congress, summit, whatever what will happen, even online, even in any kind possible. Write a letter, publish something. Do little steps, which we don't, keep in mind, but do little steps, and this step by step will help. And this is the only way. There are no, magic pills to change it. Only by pushing a little bit, talking to people who are dealing with it and can help. Speak to education departments, speak to human rights organization. If there are non-profits in your country, talk to them. There are problems with whatever you have Red Cross in your country, talk to them, ask them to come to your village to support women here, to bring books to school, to bring toys to school, whatever. Find, for example, you have children, they don't have toys. Uh, Make a creative class, do toys from whatever you have around, like branches and stones, and make it. It will educate children, it will make them think differently, they will feel dignity, that they have the right to do this, to have the toy, to spend time nicely, sweetly, and everybody are around them and helping them. And these little actions, bring them this level of confidence, of hope, and people with confidence and hope looking for better options. And if they are looking for better options, they are in the right way to go to where their rights will be supported or demanding their rights to be supported. And when we start with little kids, we are not saying like, you have the right for free religion or for talking freely. We say that, through the fairy tale, through the story from somebody, like elderly in your community, that this happened then, and because it happened then, this what was the result. And children are very clever, and they keep it in their mind, and they come with an idea for whole life. So now go to people who can help. For future, start with your kids now so they grow being more aware, being demanding that their rights are supported, and they will be fighting for their rights. And children are growing very fast. And in 20 years, it's a new generation. So if you start now, in 20 years, it could be completely different story. That's all. I hope
Yes,
this
thank you,
helps.
ma'am. You answered it really well. Like, I really like the way you deliver and answer things. Like, it is like I feel from your heart. So, thank you a lot for that, ma'am. Since we are almost crossed the time, I would like
Yeah.
to pay a vote of thanks for the same. Thank you, our mentor and speaker for today, Miss Anna, for delivering such an enlightening and comprehensive presentation on human rights and social justice fundamentals. Your insights on the distinction between equality and equity were particularly valuable, helping us understand that while everyone deserves the same rights, different people may need different level of support and access to those rights effectively. Your practical examples regarding education for girls, healthcare access, and women's participation in leadership clearly illustrated how human rights challenges manifest in real world situations. The emphasis on community based solution, education networks, and step by step advocacy provides actionable pathway for participants to make meaningful contribution in their own context. Your personal experience working with Ukrainian refugees in Greece added authentic depth to the discussion, demonstrating how human rights advocacy translate into direct support for vulnerable population. The examples of historical human rights champions and contemporary female leaders serve as inspiring role models for our participants. Most importantly, your message that everyone can contribute to human rights advancement through daily action, whether supporting neighbors, educating others, or joining community networks. Empower each participant to become an agent of positive change. Your reminder that your voice matters and the collective action starts with individual steps resonates strongly with Women Ascension mission of empowering women globally. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your expertise and passion for human rights with our community today. Thank you a lot, ma'am. It's always been a pleasure to have you on board, and I'm always mesmerized by your session that it is directly from the heart and you give all what you have. And it was pleasure that I had today the chance of moderating your session. Thank you a lot, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope this was insightful to you and brings ideas, how to support you, your community, women rights in your countries, children rights in your countries, and to educate people on their rights so they know what to fight for and what they really have, you know, for their life and what are the freedoms and what are the obligations. And see you in our next session next week. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, ma'am. See you soon. Rest well. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you all
you.
participants for being here till the end and hope you will learn from it, revise these things and come up with your questions even in the next session and we'll have ma'am soon in next week. So make sure that you continue your journey and make an impact for it. Thank you a lot, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, once again, and we'll see you
Thank you.
soon. Rest well.
Thank you. Goodbye.